Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. This is the evening of December 31st. It's time for a new year. I'm going to, as a last little bonus report for you today, I'm going to take a look at a report at some older code here, and what this is the new and improved European Center for Disease Control. Okay, all right. We're going to take a look at this new data set from the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control. They're listing it as a let's leave it there for right now. All right. Very good. Now let's do this. So let's run this. Now let's take a look at our data sets here. So you can see we got a date. Oh, I should have. Okay. We need to fix the data set. I need to come back over here and review the documentation for the G sub. So, pattern is going to be this. Okay. All right, comma, date. Let's try this. So now we got the date formatted. Let's see if we can maybe do a let's see what happens with this. Okay, so that didn't work because the dates aren't formatted correctly. So what we have to do is, and then we have to say date date. Now, since I'm only using a single function, okay, I'm only using a single function here. And its format is, by default, month, day, year. That doesn't work in that case. Let's say month, day, year. 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 Let's say Now, this may not work, but let's see what happens. Better yet, let's try this. Month. So let's see what this does. What happens if we do? Okay, let's do one more thing over here. Open up this data again. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. This, even though it worked, let's try this. Oh, you can't be serious. Okay, so why is that happening? You know what? Let's don't worry about the date. We'll do something a little different. We'll plot using the weekly number. Since they messed around with this date and reversed the format on it, let's use the year week. But we can do DF. Hmm. Maybe it, but how come I'm not getting an error message? Okay, good. So now let's just do a plot, week year cases and week year dates. So let's see if this will work. Okay, so there's nothing really surprising here. Let's just do a quick, how do we, this should just be another line down. So let's do this. Let's come over here. Let's say Now let's take a look here. So now there's nothing surprising here. Okay. This is really all we want to know about this data set. So let's say this is 90. Let's come back up here. Let's change our output options. Okay. Just run this from the top. So these are US cases. And here's deaths. So there's nothing new here. There's nothing to see here. Okay, nothing to see here. Let's just come down here and say the only difference is we'll come up here and say so let's see if this works. Sweden SC. Okay, good. Now we're going to come back up here and do this and just change this number here. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Sweden's numbers. And let's just put a little title here. Come back up here and do this. Let's just run this and see how our numbers look now. So this is U.S. weekly cases. Okay, U.S. weekly deaths. Sweden's weekly cases. And Sweden's weekly deaths. So that's a very quick report. It's an example of basically just using what the data gives you. Okay, there's a problem with the dates. Uh, I mean, it's is it possible maybe we can change that to a factor or something like that? What happens if we just took this down here, put this down here, and change this to date? Would it still run? Now, of course, there shouldn't be any. See, the trouble, of course, is because this isn't a factor or a date, now, is there anything else we could do? Well, the thing, of course, is we got weekly numbers. We don't really have, but the x-axis isn't really date. It's the year and the week count, the week number. Okay, so for the first week of January, it'd be 2021-01, because it'd be the first week in in January 2021. Okay, again, a very quick report. Uh, what you can see is it's very easy to take a report like this and duplicate the plots for different sets of data. In this case, the U.S. and Sweden. What else could we do? It's kind of hard to do a you know let's just try a smooth. I don't know if this will work because so as you can see, we didn't actually get the smooth number like we wanted. Okay, because apparently it just doesn't like that. Okay, so how can we fit a smooth curve? Let's come down here to Sweden. Next, we're going to do moving average. And again, when I do this, this simply says pull this function from this package. So in this case, it's MA comma DF or cases uh, 4. So essentially, we're going to be doing a. It's not really a weekly average because it's a sort of like a monthly average because it's 4 periods. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, let's come down here and do a second one. I tend to prefer to keep all my data munging and D. I'm not quite sure how well this is even going to work, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, won't we? Labs. Understore. So let's just see how this works. Well, that didn't work. What happens if we just plot it by itself? Let's do this. Comma x equals. Now, will this work? Not really, no. Okay, we'll just skip this here because it's not really that important. Okay. So once again, from the top. Here we go. Okay. So we can, of course, generate weekly numbers from daily numbers from, say, the John Hopkins data set or our world and data set. They already have. Actually, our world and data actually has both weekly and biweekly numbers totals. Okay. What's really needed isn't a total. Okay. And of course, let's just do one more thing. Let's just do another country, just for the fun of it. So we can just do this. And once again, we're going to call this UK. Now again, this is the two. So what's the UK look like here? Well, a huge spike back up here in cases, beginning somewhere down around there. And if it's any good news, is that the deaths haven't reached a spike back up here yet. Okay, so let's just run this one more time from the top. I think the main thing I want to emphasize here is that even though we don't have a daily data set, the weekly totals actually in many cases gives us a much better indication of what's really going on, because the weekly totals can, or the weekly average, the weekly totals can include the volatility, can include, say, the Christmas day it's missing, because that way it eliminates the spike for some of these countries who say only don't report numbers on Saturday and Sunday. Well, that Saturday and Sunday is going to fit all in one week. The Sunday's going to be on the beginning of the week. The Saturday's going to be at the end of the week. So it helps get rid of some of the volatility and the irregularities in some of the data. U.S. or Sweden, and for the UK. All right. So that takes care of this little extra bonus COVID 19 analysis report for this week. Thanks so much for your time. We'll catch you next year.